There were two cats who were hungry, and they started finding a place where they can eat. And they found out a pastry shop nearby, and both of them started looking for any leftover food items. Suddenly, they found a good big cake. They were ecstatic, and one of the cat jumped into the cake and started grabbing it. The other cat said, "Hey, it's my cake because I looked at it first." The other one said, "No, it's mine because I grabbed it." Both of them started arguing whose cake it is, and they were not budging down. They kept arguing. At the same point of time, there was a monkey which was passing by. She noticed that both of these cats were arguing, and she said, "Hey, let's do one thing." She took the cake and and cut it into half and said, "Now let's have your piece. You can share it." But the moment she did that, one of the cats said, "That piece is bigger," and they kept arguing again. So a monkey ate the bigger cake, bigger part of that cake, and said, "Now it's equal." But the other cat said, "No, it's now bigger on that side," and she ate it again. And this kept going on till one fine moment the cake was over. Monkey ate the cake. Both of the cats started crying and said, "Had we shared it at the beginning, we would have still relished the cake instead of arguing." How many times have we seen that? How many times we have argued and missed to see the bigger picture? In our personal life, in our professional life, we have seen that so many times when we kept arguing and always detract from our main agenda, main goal. This is because we fail to communicate in a way which is needed for a conductive, for a constructive environment. For a better work environment, it is very important that we create an environment where communication is effective. And for that, you need to understand different types of communication and how do you do this. The first type of communication is monologue. A monologue is very simple where one person says and the other listens. There is no input from different people and only one person. For example, I am in a training and I go and start reading something, start saying something. I do not invite any participation from anyone. It's a monologue. It's very boring. It's least effective because you are not asking for any of the inputs unless it is something which is very procedural, right? If you are, for example, when you go on a flight and the flight attendant help us understand the security procedure, what needs to be done in case of an emergency, that's a monologue. That's fine because that's a very procedural thing. You do not need any input from others. However, if you are in a in a setting where you're talking about something creative, something that needs to be done, something that something about a process in a work environment, you need to have participation from others. So monologue really works. The second type of communication is a debate. Now, the problem with the debate is that the soul of debate is to win an argument, just like the cats were doing. So the one party would always want to enforce that whatever he or she is saying is better than the other part. Now, with debate, we can go on and on and on and never reach to a conclusion, never reach to a you know never reach to a collaborative environment where we can conclude on something and work on it. It will never happen because the soul of debate is always to ensure that one party wins. The third type of communication is discussion. Discussion is not very different from a debate. It's a polite way of doing it. However, the soul still remains that one person or one party of that discussion comes out as a winner. So the conclusion is okay. One thing, whatever we have said, for example, we have five people discussing, and the end of the conclusion would be one party out of the five was right. That's what the discussion means, right? So again, in this case, we see lack of collaboration, we see lack of cooperation, and that might not be very fruitful for a work environment. The fourth type of communication is dialogue, which is the most effective type of communication. In dialogue, there is no side which wants to win. Every party in a communication setup wants to contribute to the discussion, to the topic of discussion, or the topic of dialogue, right? So here, no party aims to win the conversation, and rather come out with something called collective intelligence. All of us have a dialogue together where each of the party contributes their point, and everybody accepts each other's point, respect each other's point, and then we come up with something more meaningful, more beautiful out of all of our all of our dialogue. Now this dialogue is the most effective type of communication in a work environment. This promotes collaboration, this promotes effective communication. And whenever you are doing something very creative, something that needs to be put into a process, these inputs help you a lot. It's not only because that everybody has a say, but also different perspectives make things better. It's about, as a leader, if we have to change something, we have to be a don't knower. That means that we invite others to ensure they also participate with their perspectives. There's a famous saying that the biggest enemy of learning is knowing. So if you start knowing, if you know everything, if you think that everything, whatever we have, you want to apply, implement, you know everything, then that's your biggest enemy for learning. You need to invite people to contribute, and that can only happen when you create an effective communication setup, when you create a working environment which is healthy enough to do a dialogue, and when you create an atmosphere where everybody is free to talk about their point of view and without being judged. So in order to do that effective communication, you need to suspend all of your judgments, and you have to show empathy to the other person, respect to the other person's point of view. When you can do that, you can truly find a way for a constructive understanding and shared understanding out of that dialogue. I hope that helps. Please like and subscribe if you like the content. If you have anything to say, please put your comments down below, and I will see you soon.